happy Saturday morning. What a beautiful day here in Salt Lake City. It's a little clouded over. For us, that's a little bit unusual. I think Salt Lake City is like second or third in the most sunshine behind, I guess, Arizona and maybe Nevada, as far as the most sunshine. Maybe I don't think Hawaii qualifies for that, but it was beautiful. I've been out on my morning walk thinking about all the great things that are about to take place. Jerem, just so you'll know, I was thinking 18 weeks ago is when we got involved. I mean, think of that, 1st of May, we're officially signed into the business. And here we are 18 weeks later. And I was thinking, what's going to happen over the next few weeks? That's what we've been talking about, right? Well, get this, 17 weeks from now, they dropped the big ball in New York City. It's a new year, 17 weeks from now. So think how fast that goes. That's very, very quick. And it feels slow because we're waiting, right? Anytime you're waiting, it's like Christmas. It's like, oh man, when will Christmas get here when you're a little kid? And then it finally arrives and you get the present you wanted, and life is good for about 1 week. But I just want you to know it has been an exciting time for all of us who've been involved with the company. And I appreciate all of you guys being faithful through this process over the last 18 weeks. Now, for those of you who were on the call just a little bit earlier, we were talking a little bit about what's next, what's coming. And the reality is that we are anticipating that here we are, what is it, September 6th, Jerem?
Huh?
Yeah, I think it's September 6th. And we're hearing rumors out there that the next product's going to be introduced next week. At least that's what our hearsay tells us, is that next week we will be introducing what product, Jeremy?
The Zoom killer.
The Zoom killer. And they call it meeting. And I was kidding corporate about it because, to me, when I first got to Utah from Eastern Canada, someone said, "Hey, I'm going hunting." And I went, "Hunting?" And it sounds a little bit like that, meeting. I like the name, as far as the new Zoom killer goes. And I want to take a second because we happened to have done a call with our leadership group, with some of our leadership group, in which we had the privilege to have kind of a walkthrough tutorial on this product. And I'm adding Jeremy to the thing here so you can see him, because I asked Jeremy to be on that call, and I had my wife, Malin, because she's with another company, not an MLM company. She's with another company, but she's on, you know, 5 to 10 Zooms a day. And so I thought, hey, you know what? This is what we're talking about. We're talking about all the people we can think of who might want to use a Zoom-like product if it's priced right and if it has benefits that we don't normally have. And so what happened on that call, Jim, from your perspective?
Yeah, no, it was really fun because we were on with a representative, right? So just so everybody knows, this product, it's not something that Cirrus made up, right? Like they didn't create this product out of nothing, right? Like it's an existing product, so it's got plenty of backing. It's already exists in the marketplace. They've got a whole corporate structure. So the person that we met with was a lady who represents that company, right? And so just so you know, because a lot of times people get nervous and they're like, oh, wait, who's backing it up? Who actually made it and everything? So it is an existing product that actually is great and works. And, they've got corporate structure and customer support and everything to back it up. What we're doing is we're just taking it under our umbrella, right? And we're getting all the benefits. So it was great to be with this representative of the company. She was very amazing. She taught us all the different aspects and all the perks and the bells and whistles and everything that you look for, right? To compare, because my background in sales, when I learned how to selling computers years and years ago, and that's what I learned was, okay, what's the difference between an HP computer and a Dell computer, and why is this one better than that one, right? What are the perks and bells and whistles, and what's going to work better for the customer? And so when she was going through all that, and we were able to ask the questions. It was great. I was able to see how what Bob always talks about, the triple threat, right? And I was just going through that in my brain. Like, okay, so number one is the product itself is going to be better than the other ones. Why? Because it has things like real-time translation, where we could be talking here in English, but somebody from wherever, right, from China or Japan or Mexico, they can say, well, my language is Spanish or my language is Japanese. And it will automatically in real time put the subtitles down at the bottom so that people can read it. You don't have to have somebody manually translating or anything. It will automatically do that for you. It's amazing. It's got all kinds of other features that we wish we would have had in Zoom, right? Things that just make it really fun. They got breakout rooms. They've got all kinds of cool stuff that allow you to, there were things that Melinda was going, oh my gosh, I could totally use that, or I could use this. And so we're talking about products and features, right? That's number one. It's better in so many ways. The second super cool thing was, and we don't know the exact pricing, right? But all we do know is that I personally, just for me, and I know about Steve is probably paying for his Zoom also. I pay $17 a month for my Zoom so that I can have unlimited time and I can have, I think it's up to 100 people in a room and whatever. My understanding is that what we're going to have is going to be way cheaper and it's going to have way more than that, right? So it's kind of like what we did with the Cirrus Safe, where instead of just 2 terabytes, we're getting 6 terabytes, right? Instead of $20 a month, it's only $10 a month. That kind of same exact scenario is going to happen with this new. It's not a streaming product. Don't get it confused. It's a conferencing product, and so better price, better product, and then of course the third thing, the triple threat, is that because you're part of this ecosystem and you're using these SaaS products, it becomes a micronode that's now paying out daily rewards, right? Just because you're using that product. And I'm going to go one step beyond that, because a lot of times we think, oh, it's, yeah, okay, I'm paying for my monthly subscription, I'm getting daily rewards, but we keep hearing this word called gamification, right? Bob brings that up all the time, gamification. Right? And so what does that mean? And they've talked about it. What if you could earn rewards, not just because you're paying your monthly subscription for the product, but you also earn rewards because you use the product, right? So this Saturday call that we do every single Saturday, just for hosting a call, guess what? I can imagine that they're going to be paying out some rewards just for utilization of the product as well. So amazing. It's so cool. We're going to have a better product, better pricing, the gamification piece of it, the X1 node. I mean, it's just such a no-brainer why people would want to switch and use it. If it works better, you're getting more value, it's got more features, and you're getting rewarded on every day. Like, why in the world would you stick with Zoom when you can have this? I can't wait to switch.
Jerem, two thoughts that I had there. Number one, I've started re-recruiting right now, and so I've been talking to a lot of leaders out in the field. And when I get done with my presentation, and I did a three-way call with Dan Swindell. He had a great person on that we were discussing, the company. And when you realize the strength of what we're talking about, you talk about the triple threat. When you talk about it, I basically said, hey, you'll be able to have this product for what you're paying now, but we think it's going to be a better product. You're going to be able to be paid overrides, and you're going to be able to get rewards, is the gist of the triple threat. And uh, and I was talking to a major leader, and he goes, "So what's the markup on the product? What's your markup? What's your a BV to PV, your business volume to personal volume?" And I started thinking about what he meant by that, and then I realized that in all the MLMs, all the networking companies that I've been in previously, there's so many of them that, hey, you can buy $100 nutritional product, but we're only going to give you $50 credit for that product. And so right away, you lose the value. And in this, I said to him, "Oh yeah, we're worldwide. I mean, we have Tony on here from the Philippines. He said it's after midnight in the Philippines right now where he is. Gordon is over in Hawaii. We've got things starting to happen worldwide. We're open worldwide. When we see the opportunity calls, we see the people getting on from Australia, and we see, people like Diamond Mike on from Australia, and we see Europe, and we see in Asia the things that are happening. And I just did a Zoom with Gordon and John McKillop that had an Asian group on, and some of them didn't speak any English. And the whole time I was thinking, "Oh man, I want my meat and product right this minute." And by the way, as you get a little bit older, you'll find out this, Jeremy, as you get a little bit older, and you're watching movies on TV or anything, you'll use closed captioning. And, in the translation, I didn't even realize it, but you had the ability to make the text size as big as you want it. So you're not straining to, I was going, man, I'm not sure I can read this text. And the tutor said, "Oh, just go up here and open it, and you can make your text as big as you." And it was perfect. I could read perfectly. Like, when you start to wonder what was I just listening to in the movie, and so you use closed captioning. It's an incredible product. And like you, Jerem, I'm excited to see it happen Thursday. All right, before we move on, hang on, Jerem. Before we move on, I realized I didn't put a disclaimer up. And because we're moving into compensation plan, I am going to open my disclaimer. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. Okay, there's a disclaimer. I just want to put that up on the screen, always to protect us, because sometimes we get excited and we think about the possibilities of what can be, and we just don't want to get Kat mad at us because we love Kat. And she's very excited, by the way, for those of you that missed that call, that was too bad that you missed it, because she talked about how out of all the blockchains that she's worked with over the last 4 years, and she works for multiple companies independently through a blockchain, she said she's the most excited. I hope I'm not putting the words in her mouth, but you were there, Jeremy. She said she was most excited. She was spurred on a little bit by Scotty Merker, kind of, she talked about how she was the most excited about this because of the actual product introductions. And when I was speaking to people, and I'm just asking you to read this disclaimer, or you can take a picture of it and read it to understand, what we're talking about as we move into the comp plan. But she made the comment that, hey, we're the only company that she's really aware of that is introducing what we call SaaS products. Software as a subscription is what that stands for. And when, you think about subscription products, we're talking about products that people need. Now, up until this moment in time, up until this next week, we've had only one product introduced, and that's the Cirrus Safe, which for many of you out there is like a Dropbox product where you can store all your important documents and all your photos and paperwork, wills, all the important stuff that you put into a secret place or a safe place rather than secret. And we're talking about, I don't know if you caught it, Jeremy mentioned there's an X1 node, a little node that is put on our subscription products so that when we're on the node on the blockchain, then that's how we get credit and that's how we see everybody else who's on the nodes who buys these products that we get paid on because it goes over these nodes in the blockchain. And so there's a little X1 node attached to these things. So picture the Cirrus Safe on our blockchain. And I was comparing it to my Dropbox price. And I couldn't believe it. And so it came out and it was basically $10 a month, for the Cirrus Safe, first product introduced. And I didn't think anything of it. And you get paid overrides as other people in your organization start using the Cirrus Safe. Doesn't sound like a lot, $10 a month. But you know what? It's the kind of product I have had for the last 10 years of my life. And I pay for it every single month. I don't even think about it. It just comes and goes every month because I got to keep my documents safe. I've got to keep my photos, for the future. Everything has to, and it's on a blockchain, so it's more secure. And unbelievably, in addition to being able to get paid overrides on downline, I look at my Cirrus Safe and I was receiving 20 reward points a day, 600 reward points a month. I mean, so I'm trying to explain to this person on the phone where we're at right now. And I go, this is an example of what we're talking about. And we're also talking about, as Jeremy just talked about, our meat product, which kind of blew us away. We're going to have a similar thing there. And then we've talked about the real big ones that are coming, the travel product. We're going to have a travel product. We're going to have a streaming product. We're going to have a credit card product that we talk about all the time. But we know in the month of September, we're going to have our meeting product. And then our leadership team has the opportunity. We've been very fortunate, to have an opportunity to meet with Bob when he flies into Utah, and we'll hook up with Bob and Craig to meet them and just talk to them a minute, which will be a lot of fun for our leadership group. And we'll have an opportunity to talk about these incredible products. So I said it's 18 weeks since we got involved, just 4 months, since we got involved. And 4 months from now is the beginning of 2026. And where will we be 4 months from now? That's the exciting question. Lots going to happen over the next few weeks. So that being said, last night, we had the opportunity to have Bob and Jorge do a national worldwide call because remember, we're worldwide. We have no borders. We have no warehousing. We have no shipping expenses. This is mind-boggling to anybody who's been in our industry because they go, how is this possible that you can be worldwide? And so that answers the question to Tony over in the Philippines. He's excited. He catches the vision of what's happening. But Jerem, what's your thought process on our compensation plan? Take a second and just dig into that. I'd ask Scotty, but apparently I think he says he's tied up in his other practice, but I happen to know he's a big college football fan. So secretly, I'm thinking he's tied up, on that. And I watched the Louisville Cardinals play last night, and they were lucky to win, Scotty. I got to tell you, it was a great game, fourth quarter. But anyway, but nevertheless, I'm just teasing him. And I told him that our meeting's set up when he has a bye, so he has no excuse not to be coming in from Louisville for our meeting. But anyway, so take a second, and I think you're on mute, Jerem. But
No,
no, okay, you're not.
all
Okay,
right.
so
Yeah. So
talk
yes,
about your impressions on that.
yes, compensation, right? And it's one of the highlights from the call yesterday with Bob and Jorge that I really liked. That kind of the first comment they made about it was, in our industry, a lot of times, one of the things we want to be proud of is our comp plan, right? We want to be able to lead with the comp plan and be able to say, hey, our products are really good, but look at our comp plan. It's super amazing, right? It's got some sizzle. It's got these things. So what I love about Cirrus, what I love about Bob and Craig and everybody involved is that they're so open to listening. They listen to the feedback. They listen to what we bring to the table as leaders, and they're willing to make those adjustments that we think would help, right? Would help and bless more lives and make it better. And so some of the highlights that they were able to mention that were changes that I know came, a lot from our team, some from other teams, I'm sure, but overall they baked into this these adjustments, these enhancements, this evolution of a comp plan to make it so much more friendly for the brand new person getting started. And that I've always been a proponent of that. That's so key to me because my opinion, my experience teaches that if you can fix the number one problem we have in networking, which is retention, then it's a win for everybody. I've always hated that in our industry. Unfortunately, you have certain leaders, certain bigwigs who, all they care about is them and their money and their great big check, right, that they can get, and they don't care about the revolving door of all the little people coming in and just they can't make money and so they're out, right? And so you got to just recruit all the time to replace the people that are leaving because they can't make any money. There's no value. And so what they've done with these enhancements is they've fixed that so that people can feel like they can participate so much easier and they can get into profit so much faster. That is the key thing. So the adjustment of going with, now you can do 20% on your front line, always on every product, not just the nodes, but also on the services. That is huge. That means that somebody can literally come in and get Cirrus Safe or get the new Meetin product, and they're earning 20%. That's $2 for every single subscription. So you can just go find how many people. We have that triple threat. We have the triple threat product that somebody is going to say it's a transfer product. It's something they're paying for anyway. Why not transfer over? Better pricing, better value, pays out daily rewards. Why would they ever quit? Number one, right? So retention right there. But then also now you're able to make 20% on that, right? $2 on a $10 price. That's huge money.
It's
And
huge.
it's just amazing. So I love it. I think it's awesome because now the little guy can feel like they can actually start. My story, for those that don't know it, my first experience with network marketing when I actually made a check was like 25 years ago with Mel Luca. And I remember I got my first check, it was $11. $11. I was so proud of that check. I still have it framed. I still have it framed. It's like my first check ever in network marketing, $11 check, right? And it just motivated me. Just making an extra 10, 11, $15 a month kept me going so I could continue to buy the products every month. So if we can do that for people, they may only make 5, 10, 15, $20, but they will stay because they know that they're making money, right? And it's not complicated. So
Absolutely. Scotty's texting me. He's going, I got to get in on this. I got to give my 2 cents on this. And he's happy because Louisville's 2-0. I mean, and it looked like they were going to lose in the fourth quarter and they came back. So anyway, he's having a good day, but he's agreeing with you, Jerem.
awesome.
And he wanted to get in on this conversation. So I'm going to leave you up for a sec, Jerem.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to talk back and forth to each other, you can. Scotty. What were your what was your thought process?
Hey, brother, thanks so much and great day to everybody here. My gosh, are we so blessed just to be here, and 99.999% of the world doesn't even know about this yet. It is amazing. And Steve, we did pull it out, and you've got to be tested sometime if you're going to run for a championship. And of course, that's the goal we all set, right?
Right.
Um, it was fun. I was there with both my brothers, and we enjoyed some family time. And I'm looking forward to football time later today, but right now is business time, and I am in a
Right.
meeting here at Starbucks. But I wanted to jump on here because I love what's going on. And Jeremy, my gosh, brother, we've had conversations about wanting MLM to catch up with like the internet model and the model that's for the masses, not just for the few. And the interesting thing I would say to what's going on here, number one, I think the biggest thing is the fact that the owners were open to listening. That so rarely happens, or when it does, it's kind of fake listening. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we've all known some owners that if you know them close enough, they say, yeah, we just kind of listen to what they say, and then we do what we want to do anyways. But this is real openness, real listening. And in today's world, it's a different day. If you don't do that, you're going to die. And so we don't want to see the end before we start. And I'm glad they're doing that. And then, fortunately, with Malin, who is one of the top experts in compensation, to be able to analyze our model and understand our model, but also so understanding the needs of the people, it's just like a double whammy. And so we're blessed. But the one thing I would say is, with this model, we've got a global population out there in need. People don't really look at money the way they should because they're just not trained on money. But what's happened with inflation, what's happened over the last 4 or 5 years, what's happened with credit card debt, what's happened with interest rates increasing about 70% from where they were 10 years ago. I mean, people need it. We don't see it because we look at social media and the 120th picture that somebody took of them enjoying a meal looks like they're living their best life every single day. And this is reality. And so MLM needs to be lifted up, and finally people are starting to do it. But the unfair advantage I see here that I don't think most understand is, if you just look at any of the coins on the social media, on the crypto platforms, and look at the ones that are attached to layer one blockchains. And if you look at where they've come from, where they are today, and if you look at all the people projecting where Bitcoin's going to be, and it is the standard, you have to look at that as the standard. And on the low side, people are saying 250,000 to 500,000 by 2030, because 2030 is kind of the benchmark, these next 4.5 years of that window of opportunity we always talk about. And so when you look at that and you say that's the low side, well, the high side, people are saying 1.5 to 2 million by 2030. There's some that are like on the far high side that say it could be 5 to 10 million. So I kind of look and I take the far right and the far left out, and I kind of look in between. And most of them, the middle point by 2030 seems to be about 1.5 million. And so I say, what if it even goes to 1 million? That's a 10-time increase. So let's look at what we have. We have one of the few layer one blockchains in the entire world. Every time we use anything, we're going to get rewards, which will turn into coins, tokens, whatever you want to call it. So as much as we can make in the compensation plan, and for those few that really go build and do what they can do, it's going to be rock star income. But for the masses, it's not. But here's the difference over anything they've ever done before. They're going to make what they make, but along the way, they're getting these coins. And if we just parallel, which I think will actually outdo because we're newer, but if we just parallel and have a 10-time growth in the next 4.5 years, as people are making their income here, which will be what it would be anyways, adding on top of that, that's the unfair advantage, because nobody has that in the network marketing industry today. We are the only one that I'm aware of that has it at this level, certainly the only one tied to a layer one blockchain. And with the breadth of products that are replacement, thank God we're copying Amway, but we're doing it at everyday prices versus elevated prices. So that unfair advantage is, as we start to grow and people start to see our value increase on this coin, we're going to have the ability to talk to people in a way that nobody else can. And you guys all know the story. Those that build the nets today will be the one that catch the greatest amount of fish down the road. So, Jeremy, I'm so glad that you and I have talked like we had before, and we're so much a fan of helping the newest, youngest, freshest person coming in that doesn't have the experience that we have, to be able to have a viable pathway to make it as far as they want. And Steve, again, man, you and Melinda are just leading the way. So thank you guys.
Hey, no, we appreciate you, Scotty. And, we don't talk about coins per se generally on this, because we talk about tokenization, the fact that we're getting rewarded for these products. I think almost all the other crypto products are coin related. And so you're betting, like you were saying, on Bitcoin. How great is Bitcoin done, right? And we all look back at that and go, what were we thinking when that guy bought that pizza with that Bitcoin? What were we thinking? And oh, how we wish we could go back those few years. Well, I look at Bob and Craig's vision, because that's what it is. It's vision. And they saw what happened with the internet. And they talk about this being like internet, 3.0 type of thing. And here we are, the first company out there really bringing on these subscription software products attached to a micronode that goes on our blockchain that we can be paid these tremendous rewards and overrides on. And guess what, guys? We got our first product, Cirrus Safe. We have our second product. We're hoping this week. We think it will happen this week. And then we hope in October we get one, in November we get one, in December we get one. The satellite phone is coming. You know, when you look at all these products, guys, we're positioned perfectly. So we've been in 18 weeks. 17 weeks is the beginning of next year. We'll have a better feel who's lined up for the national championship by then, Scotty. And you know, we'll be going from there. But any last thoughts from you, Jerem?
No, yeah, I mean that sums it up right there, right? The combination of a powerful compensation plan, powerful products, and then you add that third thing on there, which is the tokenization reward system that nobody else has, literally nobody else has at all. We are untouchable. There is nothing else out there. Every time I get pitched something now, I ask, oh, well, does your product have a micronode in it? And they go, what? And I think, oh, you don't have micronodes? You're old school, man. You're no, don't even talk to me, right? But it piques their curiosity, right? They're like, what is a micronode? Oh, then I can explain to them. So guys, talk about micronodes. It's a great little
Yeah,
catch.
it's a good,
Gotcha.
good catch. Good,
It's
good
fun.
little look. Gordon, I know you're on from Hawaii. Thank you, brother, for just jumping on. Did you have any last things you wanted to say before we go? We're just getting ready to close up, but you know, you got to see the compensation plan that Bob and Jorge talked about yesterday. You understand what's coming. Any last thoughts, Gordon, as we get ready to go? And you could be on mute. All right. Well,
Can
there
you hear
you
me
go.
now?
There you go. Yeah, you can hear.
Hey, hey,
Yeah.
sorry about that. Getting late getting on here, but I'll tell you, what happened this last week, with everything just basically just looking so good with the introduction of these products. I'm feeling so much better about it than I was even 3 weeks ago. And I'm so excited that I think, you guys, we are really right place, right time. And I just can't tell you enough how excited I am to be here. And Jeremy said it great, the best. I mean, we have what we've got. Nobody else has it, and I'm just excited. So
Yeah.
I'm really happy to be here. And thanks, brother,
No, no,
for
thank
everything
you,
you're
Gordon.
doing.
Hey, you're going to do so well. I think there's a chance you could get two properties out in Hawaii. You know, and then Scotty and Jeremy and Fatai and all of us will be coming out to visit you, brother, on that. And we appreciate it. All right, that's our thought process for today. And stay tuned, as we like to say, because we think that Thursday, the opportunity call may be truly an opportunity call, but we'll stay in tune with what's going on from that standpoint. Scotty, thanks for your participation, brother. Gordon, thank you. Jeremy, thank you. And let's go get them. Let's have a great week, great month, great year. Take care, everybody. Talk to you soon.